Gay people, 10 a.m.
Game Freak must have seen the people saying that Pokemon is too easy and was like, make it easiant. So with the new DLC, the one that added the new rematch against your rival, which is, already pretty hard, they added a new mode called Rogue Mega Rush, which makes you fight all 27 Rogue Megas at level 100. And the thing that makes it even crazier is that you can only heal 3 times. Now, their full team heals, so it's not that bad, but still. 3 times for 27 battles seems a little strict. But despite being as hard as it is, and despite the fact that you don't really get anything for it, I'm pretty sure all you get is a title, I'm still really glad they added this. Because it's essentially just like the arenas from Kirby games. Probably more aligned to the true arena because you literally fight every single boss, down to Zygarde. Now, unfortunately, we probably won't see something like this in a long while, considering it really only works with the new system in ZA. However, considering we know they're making more Legends games, and with how popular the battle system in ZA is, hopefully they bring this mode back in a future Legends game. So when I draw characters with more human proportions, I almost always draw them with an afro. And apart from just really liking afros, maybe a bit too much, but you would already know that if you watched this video, there is actually a logistic reason why I do it. You see, I'm not good at drawing unique hairstyles. So, along with afros just being, well, essentially textured balls, they're also really easy for me to give texture to. I learned to use these squiggly lines on the hair, and it's a really good way to make them not look flat. And it's not like I didn't try to give texture to other hairstyles, but when I tried to, it just didn't look good. It just looked like separated clumps of hair. So yeah, that's why even the character that I use has afro textured hair, and that's why most of the things I draw have afro textured hair. And also, if you asked about the size, I promise it was unintentional. For this one, at least. So in Legends ZA's DLC, one of the easiest ways to shiny on in hyperspace is to just keep teleporting back to your portal that brought you there. And for the most part this works, but there's a problem with it. Because with anything else that you want to enter, your character will not enter it unless they are facing towards the entry point. With the hyperspace portals though, you can enter them as long as you are near them. So let's say you're hitting plus an A to try and reset, you accidentally hit A twice, now you've just been kicked out of the hyperspace portal. And what makes it suck more is that that specific portal will not respawn. It also just ends up making macro impossible because if you use a macro, you're also just gonna leave the portal. At the end of the day, with everything I got using this method, it's not that bad, but yeah, that one little thing is pretty annoying. So back during the PNG tuber craze, there was this YouTuber known as Vince, and he would just basically make videos roasting PNG tubers. But the thing is that I'm saying roast with air quotes here, because there's a very big difference between roasting someone and just being a dick. I decided to make a video about him when a YouTuber known as Tux Bodai, which he made a video about, specifically DM'd him, asking him to not make videos about them, considering that PNG tubers at the time were getting doxxed, and he was like, nah, f*** you. So I made that video, and just all of his fans suddenly flooded to that video just to call me a dickhead. But yeah, anyway, he doesn't upload anymore. And he's also gotten rid of all the videos on his channel. And while he said that the reason for this is just that he's lazy and is doing other things, another reason might be the fact that he was getting doxxed. And of course that's a bad thing, no one should be doxing anyone, but you can't really say he wasn't asking for it. The reason why I dislike this channel alongside other channels like Colin the White and Amelia is the fact that while the people running the channels may not be the worst, they spread such hurtful messages that the people watching their videos will latch onto, and they will just spread that to other videos and just start harassing people for no reason. I'm sure Vince's fans, if he still even has some, along with Colin the White fans, will find this video. But let me ask you something. Why do you think they're not here anymore? While I'm still standing better than I ever did. So if you are an individual who listens to music, you are probably aware of the song Pumped Up Kicks. And you are probably also aware of what it means. However, seemingly about a year ago, something really funny happened. And it all has to do with the icon they used for the SoundCloud release on it. What do you think it would look like? If you guessed furry somehow, you would be correct. Yeah, at some point the icon changed from, frankly, I don't even remember what the original icon for it was, to a furry. And like, this happened back when I used to regularly listen to the song, and I just thought this was just some random guy running the account and he decided to be a little cheeky. But no, this is the official SoundCloud account. So what basically happens is that hackers decided to change the icon, and then just the band never decided to change it back. So it's still a furry to this day. And the funniest thing is that out of all the songs they could have chosen for the icon to be a furry, they choose the song about a school shooting. I swear furries just have the most insane sense of humor. Which frankly I should have known that, considering the jokes my friend makes. Fun fact, you can watch YouTube on a smartwatch. Yeah, on this tiny screen, you can watch YouTube videos and scroll through shorts. And like, I know what you're asking. Why would anyone want to do that? I have no idea. As I said, the screen is tiny. And if you have a Galaxy Watch, you need to pull at the corners just to see the rest of the UI. It is really slow. So slow that it'll actually go into sleep mode before the thing even fully loads. And the speakers are terrible. Yet again, you may ask, why would anybody do this? And I still don't know. But it's really funny to think that some guy out there is watching YouTube videos on his smartwatch. So about the Great Meme Reset, calling it a failure would be an understatement. And like, the thing is that we all knew it was going to fail, but I just didn't think it would fail this badly. I mean, I don't even think anyone tried. Like, even the channels going on about this reset, I don't even think they tried. And honestly, it should be very telling that the one and only video I seen of someone participating in this meme reset had 144 views. That should tell you everything. And the thing's that it's not like we find brain rot memes funny now, but it's just that we don't really find these old memes funny now. Like, obviously there will be some classics like the Rickroll and other things probably, but like most of them we don't really care about. I guess if anything, this yet again proves my point that internet takeovers always fail miserably. Stereo audio sucks and there's no way you can convince me otherwise. And like, here's the thing. Even if you have a headset on or if you have both earbuds in your ear, I still find it annoying when they separate the music so you only hear certain parts of the song for each ear. And if you decide to take one of your earbuds out, parts of the music becoming muffled or straight up getting deleted is incredibly annoying. Like for the song playing here, there's two vocalists, and if you take out one of your earbuds, you can barely hear one of them. And this also created the onslaught of videos where one of the earbuds doesn't play any audio. The only thing I kind of approve of is stereo speakers, but even then I really don't like stereo audio. So ever since the end of Stranger Things, which most people didn't really like, people are now calling the Duffel Brothers, the people who made it, bad writers. And this kind of pisses me off. Because y'all weren't saying this for the other 4 seasons, but now you are? Now if you think it's bad, that's fine, you can criticize it all you want. But I feel like calling the creators bad writers because of it is kind of a disservice. Because you gotta realize that even if season 5 was bad, 4 out of the 5 seasons were good. And that's assuming that season 5 has no redeemable qualities. Now there will be people who never like the show and that's okay, but I feel like calling the creators bad writers is kind of crazy, considering that if they were, you would have never liked the show to begin with. Now at the end, I feel like I need to say this. There's a difference between making something bad and being bad at making something. So Nintendo recently announced the new Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con colors. And to be brutally honest, I don't think this is necessary. Because here's the thing. The only parts of the Joy-Cons that are actually colored are the accent rings underneath the joysticks and whatever this is called. Which, by the way, you can't see when the Joy-Cons are connected to the console. And like, maybe this is just because I have no friends, but I do not take off the Joy-Cons nearly enough to care about them. So in my personal opinion, I feel like instead of spending $99 on different colored Joy-Cons, you know, unless you actually need the Joy-Cons, you could just, I don't know, just put a skin on them, or just get some thumb grips or something. So I used to have a modded 3DS, but I got rid of all the files because I needed to use the SD card. However, my 3DS was still modded, so I decided to essentially remod it, aka finalize it. I feel a lot more comfortable modding that than my Switch. It's working now, but I did have a bit of an issue with it. That being that the 3DS just would not read the SD card. And this is an old 3DS, by the way. I had to use an adapter just so I can use a micro SD card, and for some reason it just wasn't reading. It's reading now that everything's installed, but like, I don't know what that was all about. I remember modding my 3DS for the first time to play Kirby Planet Robobot because I didn't get it before, and when I wanted it, my mom got me Triple Deluxe instead. And this time I'm doing exactly that, playing Kirby Planet Robobot. So first let me just say that the video I'm going to show is staged, but still the fact that it exists is kind of wild. So there's this channel called Hi Walter, It's Me Patrick, and he uploaded a video called Hi Walter, I Got a New Girlfriend Today, which, you know, seems innocent enough, but then you click on the video, because in the video it shows this girlfriend tied up in a bathroom in the basement, with Patrick assumingly doing unspeakable things to her. Now, as I said, this is a staged video, but the fact that it's still on the platform after 7 years kinda makes me angry. Because what do you mean there could be a video on the platform that, to the naked eye, looks like a man that has kidnapped a woman and is going to assault her, but if you breathe the wrong way, your channel gets banned? Don't we all love YouTube? I'ma be honest right now, Nintendo kinda ruined the inside art for the Switch 2 cases. And like, the thing is that I don't usually have a problem with the Switch 2 cases. The problem is that it's red. And this usually doesn't apply to much until you open them. Because now the inside art is shrouded in this red tint, which makes it hard to, you know, actually see the art. And this was never a problem with the original Switch cases, because those cases were clear. And yeah, you can always just pull the cover art out if you want to see it, but then it becomes really hard to actually put it back in the case. I guess the way to fix it is to have the front be red and then the inside be clear. But to be honest, coming from a consumer, that seems like a lot more work for something that most people don't really pay attention to. I just cannot believe this happened. So I was playing on my Switch on my bed. I had my phone right next to it without a case, so it's just hard titanium on a glass screen protector, which I thankfully had installed. And the phone cracked the screen protector. Thankfully, it's not the biggest crack and you can't really see it when you have it straight in front of you. But still, I can't believe that my phone cracked the screen protector. So, IGN made a video. And yeah, it was sure as hell a video. So during CVS, there was a product that was announced called the Handy 2 Pro. And it is exactly what you think it is. And like, I don't have a problem with it existing. If you want to buy it, more power to you. But what baffles me about it is that IGN made a video about it. Yeah, you heard me right. IGN. I thought they were a gaming channel. And it's not just that. They showed off a whole bunch of other things. Like, what is this? It looks like a freaking Fortnite minigun. And like, they even showed off products that combined adult toys with video games. What goes through your mind to think that you can combine those two? Razer made an AI girlfriend. What world do we live in? Because I refuse to believe that it's Earth. So the company Razer recently announced this product known as Project Ava, and they described it as an AI desk companion. It's an AI girlfriend. In a tube, because of course it is. Like, I don't know how they decide to combine AI girlfriends and clear containers, and did not think for a second that, you know what, maybe this is not a good idea. But of course, people are going to buy it anyway. And I just don't get it, because I understand that being lonely sucks, but there ain't no way that spending what I assume is going to be over $100 on this is going to help. At that point, just talk to a chatbot, because at least those are free. So YouTube just made another poor choice. And in other news, grass is green. So on the mobile app, you can click on the Your Videos button to just check on your videos. And I kinda just forgot what it looks like because it's something you don't really think about. But recently, YouTube removed it, and now when you click on the Your Videos button, it just brings you to your channel. Which, like, I'm sorry, but isn't that what the View Channel button is for? This is, of course, really annoying, because now I can't check when my videos are gonna get uploaded unless I go to the YouTube Studios app. Like, I just hate how they're actively making this platform worse. But I mean, on the bright side, I'm gonna be able to make money from it soon, so like, I mean, I guess it works out. So, yeah, I kinda screwed up. So while I was playing the Mega Dimensions DLC, I ended up finding a shiny Alpha Chingling, which was like, you know, pretty cool. And considering that its evolution as a Mega, I thought, you know what, maybe I could use this. However, because Chingling evolves via friendship, I decided to leave it in my box while I did other things. However, when I went back to evolve it, I made a massive mistake. Because this DLC essentially requires you to have all your Pokemon be level 100, I decided to level it up before I evolved it, which I didn't think was that big of a deal because it evolves via friendship. However, I soon realized that friendship doesn't go up if your Pokemon is at level 100. Meaning now I have a shiny Alpha Chingling that I can't evolve. Nice. On the bright side though, I did end up finding the shiny Drampa that I spent way too long looking for in the base game, so, you know, it's not all bad. So about my previous video, I was told by the internet that friendship doesn't go up once a Pokemon reaches level 100. However, people in the comments of my latest video were talking about how I should use the coffee method or should be using the soothing bell, as if they didn't hear me in the video. So I went in the game, I had the Chingling, and I got one coffee. Literally one coffee! I hate my life. I've been playing a lot of indie RPGs and RPGs in general, and I'm starting to realize a pretty common trope. They really like to make you lose early on in the game. There's always some battle near the beginning of the game that you are forced to lose, and then that kind of kickstarts the whole story. I don't have a problem with it, but like, it's just that it happens so often, and I don't really know how to feel because I know what's gonna happen, and I'm just sitting there like, okay. I know I've already made a video about this, but it's just so annoying and they haven't fixed it yet that I'm making another one about it. And that issue is that videos on mobile will still become incredibly laggy for no reason whatsoever. And like, I think what annoys me about this the most is that YouTube's trying to invest all their time into AI, but not into fixing the problems on their own platform. Cause don't get me wrong, there are some AI features that are genuinely useful, but most aren't. So why invest all this time into AI features most people aren't gonna use, and most people dislike, and not into, you know, fixing your goddamn platform? So there was a leak talking about how the Regis may be added to Pokemon Legends ZA's Mega Dimension at some point in the future. Now, I didn't really care about it at that point because I kind of just stopped playing ZA at that point. But then I realized, Now, when I first heard about the leak by a certain YouTuber, they talked about how the Reggie Trio was gonna be added. Keyword trio. Excluding Regieleki and Regidraco. I do hope they all return, which includes Regieleki and Regidraco, cause it would suck if they were trapped in Sword and Shield's DLC. Though it would suck if they were also trapped in the Legends ZA's DLC. But what actually makes me care about this is that some of the legendaries in the Mega Dimensions DLC can be shiny. And while I usually don't care about shiny legendaries, considering that Regieleki is my favorite Pokemon, it would be nice if I could get a shiny version of it. Also, that means you'll be able to catch them in Gen 9. Turns out the Regis have been catchable in every generation since their release. Do any of you remember Cheetah Mobile? Cause I do. They're the company who made games like Piano Tiles, Rolling Sky, Dancing Line. You've probably played at least one of them. And while it would be fun to talk about how nostalgic these games are, the company has a bit of a dark history. For example, if you try and search up any of their games, you probably won't find them. And when I mean probably, I mean you can't find them, because the company got banned from the Google Play Store due to ad fraud. And along with that, the CEO and former president were charged with insider trading. They also did some other weird things, like make a phone for some reason. Also, by the way, just found this out, but apparently they also put malware on the Play Store. That's nifty. Now, I don't think the company is dead. You can still play their games if you have an iPhone, and it seems like they're still updating some of their games. But considering that it seems like most people own Android phones, yeah, most people are not going to be able to experience these games anymore. So YouTube got into a bit of drama with something to do with captions. Not gonna lie, I don't really care about it. But what I do care about is how this whole situation was entirely preventable. Basically, YouTube ended up deleting custom captions. And considering that this is YouTube in 2026, this is definitely something YouTube would have done. But they're not. Apparently there's some kind of glitch with it, so they removed it, but once they get it fixed, they'll add it back. Which, like, okay, you could have just told us that. Like, was it really so hard to say, guys, it's okay, it's kind of broken right now, so we're removing it, but once we fix it, it'll be added back. What is with this PR team? So Nintendo recently posted an overview trailer for the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Mario Wonder. And to be honest, I don't really get why this game got a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Actually, that's a lie, I do know, it's because it's Mario. But like, surely there were better games to give a Switch 2 edition to. Heck, even if it needed to be a Mario game, surely there's better Mario games to give a Switch 2 edition to. Because all we're really getting here is a multiplayer mode that's probably going to be dead in a month, a challenge system, and the Koopalings, which really should have been in the game from the start. Now, I don't want to act like a hater. I'm not wanting it to be bad. In fact, it's probably going to be decent. I just feel like out of all the games to give a Switch 2 edition to, Mario Wonder felt like the last one on that list. But hey, at least we got Rosalina. Oh god. Elephant Rosalina. Oh god. So Mattel is coming out with their very first autistic Barbie doll. Frankly, I kind of forgot Barbie even existed. Of course, I'm not the kind of person who would ever buy it, but I find it really cool and really wholesome. Not only because it's representation, and that's never a bad thing, but also, this seems to be the first thing that I've seen that the internet isn't fussing over. Okay, never mind. The moment I say that, I find people fussing over it. We just can't have nice things. People really out here talking about the fidget spinners and talking about how it's a bit extra, but like, trust me, as someone who recently discovered that they are autistic, let me tell you, it is very accurate. So I'm recording this video on a tablet, and yeah, you can probably tell. I got it for Christmas and thought, you know, maybe I could use this to record my videos from now on, but with this audio, yeah, this ain't it, chief. And like, it's not even because the audio isn't clear, it's just so extremely crunchy. And like, I know crunchy audio can be funny, but you know what's not funny? This UI. Why is it like that? Meaning, even if I had a microphone and wasn't recording using the tablet's inbuilt microphone, it would still be much easier to just record on my phone.
plus the audio would be much better. So yeah, I guess this talent will be relegated to YouTube and Bloons Tower Defense if I ever get back to playing that game.
Well, of course. Today. The day where I decide, you know what? I want to make a fork ton of videos. Well, I can't, cause CapCut is completely broken. It started off with me just not being able to use animations, which was already pretty bad. But it got so much worse. I decided to uninstall and then reinstall CapCut thinking that would fix it. But no, it actually made it worse. Because now I just can't make videos. People on Reddit and seemingly everyone is having the same problem. And people are thinking that this is because TikTok was also down. But TikTok is back up. But CapCut isn't. Also, if you're wondering how I'm making this video, I'm making it on YouTube Create. Yeah, did you even know YouTube had an editing software? I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, cause not gonna lie, it kinda sucks. I mean, it doesn't have keyframes. What do you mean it doesn't have keyframes? Also, the font for any text I decide to use will be different, and the animations kinda suck. So if you see everything being used with fade in, yeah, that's why. So I ended up making a new language. Yeah, I'm sure that got your attention. So back during school, I ended up making these drawings explaining the world I created and its characters, which you wouldn't understand because I'm just now showing you it. You can read it if you want, or more likely you can read it if you can, and I'm pretty sure some parts of it is highly cringe. But what I mainly want to showcase are the symbols, which to you just seems like random nonsense, but to me is all a part of my own alphabet that I created, which I feel like isn't uncommon. I'm pretty sure there's one point in your life where you made your own language, but I would like for you to try and decipher what I wrote, and I'll give you some hints. This is some internet slang, this is propaganda, and this is a Metal Gear reference, which you probably won't understand. There are two ways to draw a character with cat ears, but there is only one correct way. I'm gonna be honest with you, if you draw cat ears like this or just animal ears like this, I cannot trust you. I don't understand why artists think that someone's hair is just a natural extension of someone's head. I mean, when you think about it, it kind of is, but here's the thing. The head and the hair are two separate things. So if you draw the cat ears like this, first of all, it just wouldn't work because it's not connected to the head. And if it was connected to the head would be obnoxiously tall. That's, of course, if you decide to draw the ears on the head and not where the ears normally are. Which, technically that should be the way you draw, but if you do, you kind of feel like a psychopath. Of course. So recently I created my very first hardcore world. Well, at least my first hardcore world that wasn't me jumping off a cliff and killing myself. And I was doing so well. And then Creeper. And it sucks because it wasn't even my fault. I was at school at the time, so I had to keep my volume off. And even if it was on, it essentially exploded off screen. And I wanted to do so much with it. I wanted to make an area that I could put my villagers in. I found a bunch of diamonds, which once I completed my enchantment table, I wanted to use a fortune pickaxe on it. I wanted to turn my nether portal into a switch too. God damn it. If you want to see what I built, here's me flying around in spectator mode. At least they added spectator mode, that's pretty cool. I recently just started a new hardcore world, and as if the world has a giant vendetta against me, I almost died in that world to a baby zombie. While I want to finish the things in this world that I could in the last one thing I also want to do is trap and torture a creeper for blowing me up in my previous world. Assuming I don't get blown up in this one. How many times do I have to call myself an idiot? So I started playing this game called Inkfell. It's probably not called that, but I call it that anyway. And when I started playing the game, something felt a bit odd. There were no sound effects for the first hour of the game. So I went and checked the settings and realized they were turned off. And I genuinely thought they were turned off by default. I was a bit confused, why would a game turn off their sound effects by default? Then I realized it didn't. It was my fault. While scrolling through the options, I must have accidentally turned off the sound effects and just didn't notice it. And what makes it funnier is that it happened again. There was a certain point where I must have turned off the music, and for that whole area, there was just no music, not even music during the boss fight. And I just thought that was how it was supposed to be. So when I have some time to kill, usually during school, I like to draw. But every time I do draw, I draw with a pencil and paper, cause I'm a terrible digital artist. Fun fact, the thumbnails used for my short collections were hand-drawn by me using a pen and paper, if you couldn't tell. And while there's definitely benefits to drawing with a pencil, these stupid eraser marks that happen when you draw too hard, yeah, that's not one of them. And like, this is why you have to end up drawing softly so you don't create these marks, but even when you don't mean to, they'll somehow appear anyway. And that's why I can't draw using normal pencils, because from my experience, it is much easier to get rid of these marks with the eraser from a mechanical pencil than it is with the one on a normal one. Oh yeah, that's also the reason why most of my art is in black and white, because I can't be bothered to use colored pencils most of the time. So Minecraft is getting hit with the age verification hammer, and it's going to completely ruin the game. But not for the reasons you may think. Now, for the longest time, I haven't been making any videos on the topic, not because I think it's a good idea, it's not, but just because I don't want to pull a deep humor and make it 50% of my channel. But I'm talking about this because this is not just not being able to talk to people, it is actually affecting how you play the game itself. Because you know how you do commands? You know how, type them in the chat? Well, because you need to verify your age to use the chat, if you don't do that, you literally can't use commands. And because commands are kind of essential to make sure some servers don't implode, not being able to do that unless you verify your age really sucks. And like, this is so easy to fix. Like, even if they are hell-bent on using age verification, which by the way, f the UK, if you needed to do it, just make one chat for, chat, and one chat for commands. It's not hard.